Welcome back to another episode of Boom or Bust, your home for NFL Draft Talk. I'm your host, Terry, and today I'm doing the introduction of Prospect v. Prospect. So this is something that I've been doing for years. I see more and more people starting to do it, but for my purposes, let me set the ground rules. In this scenario, you are a team that have a need at both positions if the players have different positions. You're a team, we're not talking about a round, so this could be any round. We're just talking about, whenever. And, you got the cap space, whatever. It's just really a head-to-head process of which pick, or which prospect, I should say, would you pick. And so, so I got a nice one that I wanted to kick it off with. And then, after this, I would like to see, other people kind of contribute what their scenarios would be. But anyway, so first prospect versus prospect is Rashaan Evans versus Payne. And so, of course, we got the Bama teammates. And this was an interesting one, that I would discuss recently with somebody. And I thought it'd be a good one to start it off because for me personally, Payne and Rashaan Evans, they both have similar, grades as far as draft value. So you're talking about for Payne, a late first rounder to early second rounder is where I see him. And I also see Rashaan Evans in the same, place. So Payne for me is a better overall prospect at his position. But then you talk about position, value, and that's where, the layers come in because I think, out of the linebackers, Rashaan Evans is down there on my list. Maybe number 5, maybe out of the top 5, but Payne is definitely up there on my list. And, that deals with the competition of the, current class, but also just overall skill set. But we talk about the value of a linebacker that not only can make plays sideline to sideline, but also where I think Rashaan Evans is very valuable is that his zone coverage is probably the best out of the group of linebackers. And so while I think he has a ways to go about reading plays and diagnosing and pulling the trigger in the run game, I do also think that him in zone coverage is a little more impressive than the rest of the guys. So now we're talking about what's the value of that. Whereas Payne isn't a pass rushing defensive lineman. That's, of course, the highest value, but he does change the run game and he's a big guy that's athletic. As I said before, you can put him on offense, do kind of the fullback tight end stuff with him, which is fun, but also on defense that just shows how athletic he is. So if you're a zone blitzing team, the twist, the stunts, the movement, he's going to be able to do that. And then his pass rushing ability isn't zero. I think he does have a decent amount of pass rush ability for somebody that plays nose tackle. And honestly, if you told me we want to put Deron at defensive end in the odd front instead of nose, I wouldn't even be mad at that. So I do think he does bring a lot of versatility and intrigue at that position. But, what's the ceiling? What's the high end of a guy like that versus a high end of a guy like Rashaan Evans? So I don't think Payne could ever be J.J. Watt, which is the high end of an odd front defensive end. So I don't think he could ever be that. I do think he is impactful first rounder, like I said, but I think at the end of the day, I pick Rashaan Evans because coverage ability is very valuable. While I don't think it's a passing league, as they say, the volume of passes are a little higher, and they do value linebackers that can be on the field for 3 downs. And so not only does that put him on the field for 3 downs, but that allows you to do a lot of coverage within those 3 downs because you got a guy that has that zone ability. Now, what he lacks in the run game, maybe teachable. We'll have to see. I think overall as an athlete, he's good enough where if you got him to the IQ point you want, he would be very, very, very effective as a linebacker. So I would have to go with Rashaan Evans, even though he's a lot more ceiling than floor. I got to go with Rashaan Evans just because it's top out value. So that was a great one for me, but here's the most important thing. I need your help. There's two ways to reach me. You can actually email me at boomorbustmail@gmail.com. And you can email me some prospect scenarios that you would like me to address, or you can tweet at me at boomobus. Again, that's boomobus. We couldn't afford the OR. It's just the O. So boomobus. You could tweet at me, tweet me some of your scenarios, and the graphic will pop up later. You'll be able to use that. So get at me. Let me know some of your prospect v prospects that you think are good, that you would like me to do. And I might do one or two in the next episode of the best ones that I get. So again, go to the comment section though. Let me know your comments. Rashaan Evans versus Payne. You got a need at both positions. Which one do you go for? Thumbs up, subscribe, share it around if you... Oh, sorry. I keep doing that. Thank you for listening.